So let's talk about this most recent recognition for a Palestinian state among these European nations. My question is, what does this mean in real terms, and does it in any way advance the Palestinian cause?
It absolutely advances the Palestinian cause because it's from countries that have previously said that they support the rights of the Palestinians, but were part of this thinking that Palestinian state comes only after a negotiation with Israel, which in effect gives Israel the veto on whether there is a Palestinian state or not, by bringing it forward in the process and saying, we recognize Palestine as a state that has rights. And these are important countries, Spain, Ireland and Norway, hugely important in the European discourse. And we're seeing in Europe more and more countries are coming to that thinking. There's hopes that other countries like Belgium will also join. So it's an important moment. It's also important, as you said, this shows that the current Israeli government and the current thinking in Israel is becoming more and more isolated. We saw, of course, the UN vote at the UN General Assembly, where only 9 countries voted against having Palestine as a full member of the UN. Of course, amongst those countries, the United States, and the United States also is looking a bit isolationist at the moment in its thinking on how to solve what's going on and the terrible war that continues in Gaza.
Indeed. And of course, the Europeans don't speak with one voice on this. There's still a lot of opposing views on the continent about whether or not recognition for a Palestinian state is the way forward. But perhaps we could see other countries joining that. Just in terms of the reaction that we've seen, though, Mina, Hamas officials went as far as to say it marks a turning point in the international position on the Palestinian issue. But of course, as you would imagine, the Israelis also coming out here. Prime Minister Netanyahu saying the recognition is, quote, beyond outrageous and rewards terror. So what do you think this means for Netanyahu, Israel and his war in Gaza?
Well, for Netanyahu, he's had a very bad week. Everything from the ICC warrant through to members of his own war cabinet now saying he doesn't have a political solution, so it's a problem. And now there's this with European countries coming out. And you're right, Europe is divided, but more and more voices are becoming with the idea of a Palestinian recognition. So Netanyahu is in a increasingly difficult political situation. However, he continues to try to keep his coalition together, which is, of course, increasingly far right. And so for him, it's a problem. And for Israel, again, they need to come up with solutions. The war itself is not going to deliver the solutions that they claim to want, which is more security and the ability to live within this region peacefully.